Hi, and welcome to Air Engine Research. It's been a while since I've made any videos or have been able to go out and do anything in the shop. The last part of December, it started snowing and got cold, and we had ice and a lot more snow, and it's been cold. Today is the 18th of February, and I'm looking outside, and I've got about 4 inches of snow, and it's supposed to be 4 below zero tonight. And my shop is just no good for winter weather. So I'm just stuck in the house. But I would like to make a video just to kind of let you know where I'm at. I haven't wasted my time. I've been working on a new prototype based on the 4-cylinder Driveshaft rotor engine that I made the video of me driving it around. I've got some pictures and things that I want to show you, so I guess I'll switch to just the audio so that I can show you pictures. I'll go ahead and do that now. Before the weather got bad, I was up in my shop and I was working on some ideas with using 4 cylinders in a square pattern. Each one of the cylinders would only push. And since I've been here, I've been thinking about a lot of different ways to use cylinders and trying to make the overall engine much smaller than what that would be. So I've done a lot of drafting and drawing pictures and thinking about how to do it, and using 3 cylinders possibly I thought might be an option too. It makes it smaller, and it would be like a little over half the same size as what a 4-cylinder would be. But using just one ring and a rotator, I'm afraid that would just be way out of balance, and just I wouldn't be able to figure out any way to balance it. So using 3 cylinders is not going to work. So then I thought about, well, maybe I'll use 2 cylinders. They would be kind of offset from each other 180 degrees, so that would be a little better. But then I got to thinking, well, it's still going to do the same thing. It's going to make that ring flop around and go in a circle, and I don't have any way to balance that. So that's not going to work. But while I was looking at it, I had already drew out another 2-cylinder design that I thought about using double acting cylinders. That way I would be able to make it almost like a 4-cylinder with 2. So I worked on that for a while, and then I realized, well, I'm still going to have that same problem. Balancing that ring is not how I won't be able to do that. I don't know how to balance it. So then I thought, well, maybe if I use 2 rings and 2 cylinders and put one of them off to one side, maybe I can get it to balance that way, but I'm not sure if it would or not. And I just decided to try some different options, and I kept thinking about it and kept thinking about it, and finally I got, well, if I put 2 cylinders on the same pivot point at the top and use 2 rings and 2 rotors, and if I would offset one rotor about 25 degrees, that means that it would never be in a position where if the rings line up with each other straight up and down, that the engine wouldn't start. This way, that upper ring with the rotator, and it will pull the bottom ring around so that it's past the dead spot at the bottom and the engine will start in any position. I went through and I made a printout of all the positions where the rotors would be as it makes its rotation around the drive shaft, and I don't find any position where it'll be lined up that it wouldn't start. So I think that will be a good positive engine. The engine is designed so that it is going to be put together by threaded rods, and it's so designed as being modular. That means that that means that you can add another module to it. You need more power. The original prototype is going to have 2 cylinders and 2 rings, but it might require another one. I'm not sure. 2 cylinders and 2 rings would be the same as a 4-cylinder. If you had 3 modules, that would be like a 6-cylinder. The diagram that you see there, the left picture is the left side of the engine. The next one is looking at the end of the engine, and you see the rings and the cylinders and the valves. The next one is looking at it from the side so that you can see the 2 cylinders separate, the 2 rings and the connecting rods and the valves. The right side is showing the position of the supports for the cylinders in the center up at the top. Now this last picture shows you the parts that go with each module. The colored one is a single module by itself. If you needed more, you just take the nuts off the end of it, take out the threaded rods, put new threaded rods in to be long enough to cover the 3 modules, and you'll have to also replace the crankshaft to accommodate for the extra module. But I have most of the parts. I do need to buy the 4 pieces of aluminum that'll be for the bottom section. They're 10 by 10 by ½ inch, and the top 2 sides, they're ½ inch, 10 inch by 11 inches. I don't know how long this bad weather's going to last, but I am also having cataract surgery the 4th of March, so it's possible that I may not be able to actually start on this until after sometime in March. But I just wanted to put out a short video to show you where I'm at and that I haven't been just sitting around doing nothing. I appreciate your patience, you long-time subscribers, and any new subscriber or person that wants to subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Be sure to check the notification bell, and you'll be notified anytime there's something I put out. And in the meantime, there's 174 videos in my website. It's Air Engine Research on YouTube, naturally. And you can look through there and see some of the things that I've done in the past. So for now, though, I'll have to sign off and finish up this video.